What's the first thing comes to your mind when you hear the word Turkey? This? Or this? Maybe this? Let's be honest, even the most popular places start to feel too predictable after a while, like you've already seen them 100 times and they are not that exciting anymore. That's when you want to find something different, something that hasn't turned into tourist cliché yet. That was exactly my goal, to find a side of Turkey that most people don't know about. Places where everything still feels real, nature, people, traditions, and I didn't just wanted to explore it for myself, I wanted to show it to you too. That's why I came to Rize, and if you never heard of it, Rize is in the northeast part of Turkey, near the border with Georgia. It's a small province, but is best known as the Turkish capital of tea. The Rize province itself is located in a wet climate area on a narrow strait between the Black Sea and the Pontic Mountains, which are almost always draped in mist. Summers here are warm but not scorching, and the rain is frequent. This is actually the rainiest region in all of Turkey. In winter though, there is really nothing to do. Temperatures drop to around +2 Celsius with occasional frosts and heavy snowfalls. By the way, we'll talk more about the snow later. And aside from tea, the region also grows hazelnuts and kiwis. I was honestly a bit surprised when I saw small kiwi orchards growing right along the roadside. Rize is a jewel of the Black Sea coast of Turkey, which surprises with its nature and cultural features. It's mainly inhabited by the Turks, but also Lazes live here, an ethnic minority speaking the Laz language. The Laz are one of the indigenous people of the Black Sea region. Their history, culture and lifestyle are closely connected with the nature of Karadeniz. Their roots go into the era of antiquity. The Laz were mentioned in Byzantine chronicles. During the Middle Ages, they were under the influence of the Byzantine Empire and later the Ottomans. But despite the changes of the rulers, they managed to maintain their identity. Historically, the Laz were shepherds, fishermen and farmers. Their lifestyle has always been closely tied to nature, raising livestock, growing corn, black beans and other crops, while fishing remained a crucial part for their economy. Laz communities are centered around family and communal traditions. This is a very tight-knit people, where respect for elders and mutual support are core values. Today, the Laz are a relatively small ethnic group, with a population in Turkey estimated at around 200,000 people. The Laz villages in the mountains of Karadeniz are something else entirely. Their homes are made of wood, built to withstand the constant moisture and rain. Many are perched on slopes, with windows offering absolutely breathtaking views. Today, the Laz are actively involved in a broader Turkish society. Many have moved to larger cities, yet they still try to preserve their culture. In recent years, there's been a growing interest in the learning Laz language and reviving traditional festivals and customs. As I mentioned earlier, Rize is considered the tea capital of Turkey. Around 60% of all Turkish tea is grown here. Thanks to its humid subtropical climate and mountainous terrain, the region is ideal for tea cultivation. Tea plantations climb up the hills in terraces, creating stunning green landscapes. These layered slopes combined with dense forest, roaring rivers and waterfalls form a breathtaking mix. But how do you get to all this beauty? There are two main ways to get there, through Trabzon airport or the new Rize airport. The second one has an interesting story. Since Rize is right by the mountains and all the flat land is already built up, the government made a bold decision. They built the airport in the sea. They used huge pillars as tall as 10-story building and poured 100 million tons of rocks to create space for runway. It was easier for me to fly into Trabzon and then take a bus to Rize to start the trip. It's a short ride along the Black Sea coast and it already gives you a good first impression. Green hills, mountains and endless tea plantations starting showing up right away. The way to the most beautiful parts of this region passes through town of Rize. So if we're here, let's take a little walk around it. Rize is famous across Turkey as a center of tea production. Tea is everywhere here. You'll see street lights shaped like tea leaves and even a giant teapot. Tea is sold everywhere here, in large amounts. On every corner there's a small tea shop selling local black tea grown right in the nearby hills. And yes, they even built a monumentum of the shape of the huge tea glass. Here it's called bardak. And since this video is about Rize, yes, there will be a lot of tea in it. Tea. Tea. You understood everything yourself. But Rize is not just about tea. The province is also known for its mountain plateaus, rivers, waterfalls, old bridges and a very special local cuisine. I'll show you all of that in this video. But for now, I won't stay in the city for too long. We've got a lot to explore, and trust me, there is plenty to see. Since Rize is so famous for its tea, our first stop is a tea plantation. They are literally everywhere here, and some are even inside the city, but we'll go a bit further, to a place called Haremtepe. Haremtepe Tea Plantation, also known as Checheva, is one of the most scenic spots in Rize province. Just look the views around it. It's about 25 kilometers from the city of Rize and is a very popular place because of its green terraces that looks like waves coming down the hills. It's a beautiful sight. To better understand tea here, let's go back a bit and ask, how did tea growing even start in this region? For that, we go back to the 19th century, a time when tea wasn't common in Turkey. People mostly drank coffee. Tea passed through Turkey along trade routes but wasn't grown here. In the late 1800s, Ottoman Sultan Abdulhamid II tried to grow tea in Bursa, but it didn't work out because the location wasn't suitable. Later, the Ottoman Empire fell and was replaced by the Turkish Republic. After World War I, the country was in economic trouble. It was a hard time for people, but the beginning of something new for Turkish tea. Coffee became too expensive, so the Turkish parliament passed a law to grow tea in the eastern Black Sea region. They brought in tons of tea seeds from Batumi, and local farmers learned to grow them in this climate. So, in the 1920s, the first tea plantations were created near Rize. Today, almost all Turkish tea comes from here. Since 1965, Turkey has started exporting tea. Until 1984, tea production was controlled by the government. But now most tea is grown and sold by private farmers. Only one tea factory is still run by the state. Each year, Turkey produces around 200,000 tons of tea, which is about 6% of the world's tea. Now it's 7%. Tea here is picked by both men and women. They use special scissors to cut the leaves, put them into big sacks and slide them down on ropes. Then the tea is dried and packed. It's not easy work, but this hard process shows how important tea is for people in this region and how much they respect their traditions. But if you're a tourist, you can taste this tea. They usually offer it for free. And don't forget to take a walk along the green hills and breathe the fresh mountain air. The local people are very friendly. They'll gladly tell you about Turkish tea and might even give you a tour of their plantations.
Green tea. Do you know green tea?
Green tea?
Yes, green. The expensive one. Many people know. You just dry it in the sun like this and it turns into green tea.
For how long?
When you take it in your hand and it crumbles, it means it's ready. You've got green tea.
After you collect this tea, to which countries does it go?
Everywhere in the world.
Everywhere?
The only place in the world where sun, rain, and snow fall on tea. Snow falls on tea only here in Karadeniz. For example, in India or China or somewhere else, there is tea, but it doesn't snow there. Only in Karadeniz does snow fall on tea. That's why tea from here is very popular.
How much tea do you collect each year?
In one harvest, during the year we collect tea 3 times. In one harvest we, for example, collect 4 to 5 tons. If we take 5 tons, then in a year we collect 15 tons.
Is it your family business?
No, I'm just a worker. I earn extra money. I actually work in Georgia, in Batumi.
Is it heavy work?
Heavy? If you don't collect tea, it will turn into firewood.
No, I mean to collect the tea, to dry it.
No, we don't dry it. The factory does that. We just send it to the storage facilities, and the factory takes the tea from there.
I got it. Thank you for your responses. Besides the tea, there is plenty to see, very old architecture and beautiful nature. Rize province is also famous for its high mountain plateaus. I was really impressed by the amazing views, thick forests, green fields, fast mountain rivers and great views from the top of the hills. These places are perfect for nature lovers and those who want peace and quiet. Even though tourism is growing here, the local villages still keep their traditional way of life, and now I'm heading to one of those plateaus. But while I was driving, I saw a few stone arch bridges along the road, and they looked really old. I googled them and found out that many were built in 17th, 18th centuries. Even though some are over 200 years old, they still look strong. Here are the bridges I stopped at. Timisvat Bridge, built in the 18th century. It's one of the most well-known bridges in the region and a great example of Ottoman architecture. There are many viewpoints nearby where you can take nice photos. Shenyuva Bridge, built back in 1696 and still in great shape. It's about 40 meters long and is a popular spot for romantic walks. There is also a small village nearby where you can try local Black Sea tea and food. I'll tell you more about that soon. Taş Bridge. Taş means stone in Turkish. It's another example of Ottoman architecture, also formed in the 18th century. People often come here for picnics, and right next to the bridge there is a restaurant that serves local Black Sea dishes. So now is a good time to talk about that food. In general, the food here isn't very different from what you'd find in the rest of the Turkey. You'll still see popular dishes like kebabs, doner and lentil soup, but there are two special dishes that make Black Sea food stand out. The first one is muhlama, a hot, cheesy dish made with butter and different types of stretchy cheese. It's served with a small metal pan with lots of bread that you use to scoop it up. It's rich, heavy and very tasty, definitely worth trying. The second one is a well-known dessert called sütlaç. It's popular across Turkey, but people say it originally comes from the Black Sea region. Here they often serve it with the nuts on top. It's a perfect dessert to finish your meal. Be sure to try it while you're in Karadeniz. Besides old bridges, there is another stone building worth seeing, Zilkale Fortress. Zilkale is one of those places where you can really feel the history. Imagine driving through winding roads surrounded by forest and mist, and then you see a fortress standing on a cliff. Zilkale sits high above the Fırtına Valley, and the view from up there is amazing. The fortress was originally built during the Byzantine era to protect trade routes and watch over the valley. Later, the Ottomans took control of it. The name Zilkale means Bell Fortress, although no one is really sure why. But one thing is clear, the place is simply unique. It's built on a cliff at about 750 meters above sea level. On one side you see endless forest, on the other a steep drop, and down below a fast-flowing river. The fortress itself has a tall tower you can climb for views, and an inner courtyard where soldiers once lived. There are places nearby where you can sit in the shade and have a picnic. The air is clean and fresh, and the only sound around is nature. The easiest way to get here is by car. It's around 40 kilometers from Rize and takes a little over an hour. But be ready for mountain roads with lots of turns. The best time to visit is in summer or early autumn. In summer everything is green and the Fırtına River is full of water, making the whole scene even more beautiful. If you're visiting Rize, don't miss the chance to see this fortress with your own eyes. I also wanted to say,
we're really lucky with weather today because it's sunny, and even locals told me that these days it was rainy, but today it's sunny and we're lucky.
The Black Sea region is famous for its nature, but also for changing weather. The climate here is humid, with lots of rain and sudden changes in temperature, which can be tricky sometimes. Rain is kind of a symbol of this region. It can start even on a sunny day, so carrying an umbrella or raincoat is always a good idea. But thanks to all this rain, the nature here is amazing. Green forests, rivers and waterfalls looks especially powerful after a storm. While I was talking about bridges, food and the weather of Karadeniz, I had already made it high into the mountains, so now welcome to Pokut Plateau. It's located at around 2000 meters above sea level and is famous for its wooden houses surrounded by thick forests and stunning panoramic views. It's one of the most popular places in the region. I even saw it in ads from big airlines, but I didn't know I'd end up here myself. Places like this are why people compare Karadeniz to Switzerland. Look, even cows are grazing up here at 2000 meters. What makes Pokut special is how quiet and peaceful it is. There aren't many tourists yet, and one of the best things here is watching the fog slowly cover the valleys. And to show you how lucky I was with the weather, here's what the plateau looked like when I first arrived, and here's how it looked 20 minutes later. In the mountains of Karadeniz, heavy fog is pretty common, especially on high plateaus like this. It makes the scenery look magical, but it's not great for drivers, since it makes the mountain roads harder to see. Because of that, I didn't stay too long and decided to move on to the final spot, even higher, around 2500 meters above sea level, but the road to it goes through one more plateau. Yes, there are lots of plateaus here, just like the bridges. This one is called Ayder. Ayder is probably the most popular and tourist-friendly plateau in the region. It is about 1300 meters high and known for its hot springs. The plateau is surrounded by pine forests, and together with mountain rivers and waterfalls, the views look like something from a postcard. Ayder is beautiful all year round, green and fresh in summer and snowy and cozy in winter. We are climbing higher into the mountains and the weather is getting cooler here that I even had to put on a jacket. Remember what I said about the weather? It happened again. It started to rain a little and I got worried. Higher in the mountains, where I was heading, the weather was probably much worse. Many people stay here for a few days to relax in the hotel's mountain views, enjoy the hot springs and breathe the fresh air. But I was in a bit of a rush and wanted to see as much as possible and show it all to you. Let's keep going. After the Ayder plateau, we're heading to probably the most beautiful spot in the whole Black Sea region. But, as it often happens, the best places are also the hardest to reach. Now I'm going even higher into the mountains, up to about 2.5 kilometers, to get above the clouds and hopefully catch the sunset, but then I ran into some problems. I'm here! Or at least I thought I was, but unfortunately it turns out that I can't get there with my car. They told me that I need a full-wheel car, so now I'm heading back to the city, book a tour for tomorrow and try again. Booking a tour wasn't too hard, but I had to wake up super early. Still, the hardest part wasn't that, it was the drive. Even as a passenger, the road was rough, and we passed some really steep cliffs, but we made it. Sadly, the weather wasn't great that day. It was raining hard, the wind was strong, and it was hard to enjoy the view, though the horses didn't seem to care. Looks like I won't get to see the sunset, but usually people meet sunsets from here, watching these beautiful clouds lying on the mountains. Let's talk a bit about the place itself. Huser Plateau sits at around 2500 meters. Huser is known for its amazing mountain views. Even in summer the air is cool and fresh. One of the best things to see here is the Sea of Clouds, when clouds move below the level of the plateau. Imagine how beautiful the sunsets and sunrises look from here. That's why I wanted to come right before sunset. If you're coming from Ayder, the drive takes about 40 minutes, but the road is steep and rough, which is why I couldn't come on my first try. Still, the views are totally worth it, and luckily there are local tour companies that can take you. The best time to visit Huser is summer, when the meadows are full of colorful flowers and the weather is nice for walking. I came a bit late, so the grass wasn't as green, and the weather, let's just say, it was cold. It was hard to stay outside, so I went into a small hut with some others, waited out the rain, warmed up a bit, and decided to go out. Some people were warming up like that. And by the way, I only found out here that the bagpipe is actually popular in Rize. And these are the famous swings above the cliff, which have become one of the main attractions of the Huser Plateau. These swings are a favorite place for photo shoots, and many tourists come here specifically for these shots. At that time I decided to find some hot food, but the only hot thing there was corn.
Not tasty at all.
Huser Plateau is a place where nature really shows its power and beauty. You can forget everything and just enjoy being above the clouds. It's one of those places where you feel like a small part of something huge and amazing. After the ride down all the mountain curves, I just wanted to get back to the city without any more surprises, because the next day I was heading to the next big place on my trip, the high mountain Sumela Monastery. The Sumela Monastery is located in Trabzon province, on the side of Mount Mela. It was built at about 1200 meters above the sea level and was founded in the 4th century, making it one of the oldest monasteries in the world. The most interesting part, it's carved directly into the rock, so it looks like part of the mountain. This makes it really special and impressive. For many centuries, it was a religious center that attracted visitors from different countries. Even today, it remains an important part of Christian history in Turkey. The monastery got its current look in the 13th century. The nature around it is also beautiful. The monastery is inside Altinere National Park, which is known for its green forests, steep cliffs, rivers and waterfalls. Just listen to how loud the mountain river is. The road to the monastery is also something to talk about. The trail goes through a forest full of tall trees, which keep things cool even in summer. The path goes up and down, and in some spots you get amazing views. There's one place where you can see the whole monastery from the side. It hangs above the cliff and looks incredible.
While everyone is going to monastery to watch it from the inside, we found a very scenic spot to watch it from the outside.
The monastery was under restoration from 2015 to 2021, but now it's open again, and anyone can visit it and enjoy the views. But to be honest, I didn't find the inside of the monastery that interesting. What impressed me more was seeing it from the outside, surrounded by the amazing nature of the Black Sea region. And the beautiful places in Trabzon don't stop here. One more must-see is Uzungol Lake. This lake is a famous tourist spot in Turkey's Black Sea region. It's named after the nearby village, and the name means Long Lake. Like most places here, it's in the mountains, over 1000 meters above the sea level. The story of this lake is interesting. It was created by a landslide that blocked the Haldizin River. Now, instead of the rapid flow of the river, there is a calm expanse of water, and from above everything looks even more impressive. People have loved this place for a long time. A small village grew around it, and it seems to emphasize its natural charm. The area around the lake is basically a nature reserve. Locals say you can see wild animals here, like wild boars, bears, and even lynx. In the lake there's a rainbow trout. I'm not sure if fishing is allowed though. There's a lot to do here, so you won't be bored. There's a walking path all around the lake, so you can enjoy the view. There are also hiking trails leading to other mountain areas. You can even rent a boat and ride on the lake. But the main reason people come here is the breakfast with a lake view. Just look at it. This is what people call a perfect morning. The best way to get here is from Trabzon. It's about a 2-hour drive. The roads are a bit curvy and go through the mountains, but the views make it totally worth it. If you're in this part of Turkey, don't miss it. It's the kind of place you remember for a long time. Traveling to Karadeniz changed how I see Turkey. Every day here brings something new views, new feelings, new experiences. This region feels like it was made for people who want to see something wild, real and unexpected. I think I really reached my goal with this video. From the first minutes, you're surrounded by nature that's hard to describe. Green hills, loud rivers, clouds so low you feel like you can touch them. And the tea plantations, they look like green carpets climbing up the hills. Each place is different. Ayder Plateau is cozy and full of green houses and trees. Huser Plateau feels like another world, where you stand above the clouds and realize how small your everyday problems are. And the people. Karadeniz is all about smiles, hospitality and local pride. Everyone here is happy to tell you about their region, offer you tea or just wish you a good trip. Karadeniz is not just a trip, it's a moment to stop, breathe deeply and see the world way nature made it. If you are looking for a place that will stay in your heart, this is it. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to channel and see you soon.